The problem with trying to hide your civilization from others is that usually, by the time you think to do that, it is already too late. Let us start with possible motivations. Why would a civilization hide? For instance, a species that just wants to keep to themselves because they're xenophobic, but not especially hostile or fearful, has a different scope of possible actions than one that is afraid of being invaded. If you want to keep visitors away, hiding is often not your best solution under known physics. In the absence of FTL, fast-and-light travel, a spaceship can take centuries to get to its destination, and it is most likely a one-way trip, especially if they can't refuel when they arrive. Telling a decelerating spaceship just approaching your solar system to go away amounts to signing their death warrant, or possibly yours. The species living there might not care, but the rest of the hypothetical galactic community is going to be asking why those guys didn't put up a simple beacon saying, "Stay away, this is our solar system, no visitors." Some of those folks, especially the civilization that ship came from, might decide to go ask in person. Having an alien armada show up on your doorstep, pissed off because you either killed their people by negligence or shot at them when they decided to try refueling, is not a good way to avoid interacting with alien species. Plus, no trespassing beacons are pretty cheap, particularly considering you can safely bet no species that lacks FTL travel ever sends ships anywhere without pointing telescopes there first, so you don't need to be transmitting very loudly. Now obviously, if you are hiding, sticking up big signs saying "Go away, no visitors" is not the best approach. Our example here, however, is of a civilization that isn't afraid of an unprovoked invasion, they're just xenophobic. A species that evolves to have technology does need to have some traits like curiosity and social behavior, but that doesn't mean they like things besides themselves. I tend to think extreme xenophobia towards other species is not too common with technological civilizations, but we can't assume xenophobia is uncommon among aliens either. What I do see being common is a fear of predators and a desire to hide. Humans are very afraid of predators sneaking in at night and eating us. Little kids frightened of shadows or boogeymen under their bed are not being irrational. They are obeying a very old and reasonable fear of being eaten. That's a real threat even to apex predators when they're young, so a desire to hide from predators is probably almost as universal in alien civilizations as curiosity is. If you assume the galaxy is full of predatory aliens hiding in the dark reaches of outer space, you do not want to hide from them on your home planet. They are unlikely to be afraid to visit sunlit planets, and to know that's the easiest place to find prey. Consider the growing list of exoplanets, accumulated at a time when we can barely put simple telescopes in space. And then try to imagine the kind of telescopes any species with basic interstellar travel might have. Forget about radio signals, by the way. That's not a great search method even when you're confined to a planet. Nothing you need to hide from will be planet-bound, and they have better options. Any species that hunts other civilizations by waiting for them to discover radio and TV is too stupid to be a threat. We can broadcast all we want without concern, because first off, it's already too late since we've been broadcasting for a century, and secondly, anybody who can come here and hurt us never needed that to find us and already knew about us. The probable presence of life on Earth is detectable by any number of other telltales that can be seen in the distance. We were betrayed by our own atmosphere 1 billion years before life crawled onto land. Now, if you want to hide, you don't do it on your home planet. So here we are, an evil interstellar empire that arose a billion years ago. How do we operate? First, we need to assume we don't really colonize much ourselves. It's obviously very easy to keep alien civilizations from arising if you just colonize every planet in a galaxy, something that won't take you more than 1 million years if you got the ability to do interstellar travel in any sort of plausible way, and much faster if you have access to FTL travel. Second, even a modestly expansive species is going to have at least close to K2 civilization numbers and resources, meaning they haven't got any problem deploying a telescope to watch every single planet constantly and throwing together fleets of billions of ships. Third, we have to assume that for some reason travel to other galaxies is off the table. Otherwise, while your predator species is lurking around the Milky Way galaxy, rather than colonizing it, some Kardashev 3 civilization will arise next door in Andromeda and decide to come pay a visit, and they will crush you. Those are some fairly dubious assumptions, and if any of them aren't in play, this is not going to happen. The biggest issue against you is time itself, because while any Kardashev 2 civilization, that's one that's just maximized their own solar system, not any others, could easily send a big battleship, or even a fleet, to every other solar system in the galaxy to monitor it for life, there's no guarantee they are going to do that. It's hard for me to imagine humans opting to do the galaxy-wide perpetual extermination thing, and we have been known to try to kill off other humans who are genetically just a few thousand years removed from us. If we assume the kind of extreme xenophobia that would make you try to keep purging a galaxy for 1 billion years, how likely are they to be cool with mutant branches of their own species who aren't just 100 generations removed, but 100,000? While it is darkly amusing to imagine a galaxy with 1 million empires, all descended from the same planet originally, trying to wipe each other out, don't assume other species could safely emerge during that conflict. They would still be monitoring everything, and still be just as enthusiastically genocidal as before, so they'd still know if some new species emerged, and would be able to divert a small fleet there to nuke them, or use whatever other method of extermination might be in vogue. Genocide really does need to be done in person, though, unless you're willing to go all in and kill every planet in a galaxy that might spawn life. A K2 civilization could do that from home. Stupid is probably a better way to go. Guided interstellar missiles that just have enough intelligence to do targeting and maybe maintenance. Either delivering an explosive strike or something more biologically targeted and clever like the proto-molecule we see in the Expanse series, TV or novels. It could possibly be some very simple self-replicator that has a lot of mutation safety controls on top, error checking algorithms, or some other options that very limited mission. Keep it simple. Go to the place, scan for basic signs of life, find a rock, replicate, destroy life, send mission data home, send replicators onto neighboring systems. It could be dangerous giving it any real brains or free will, and even then, leaving a swarm of these things meandering around the galaxy probably is not a good idea. You could have them hardwired to automatically shut down and hibernate, only waking every so often to scan their particular area, but you might just be better off sending out new batches of them periodically instead, with sending out specialized weapons designed for killing off intelligent life. It pays inherently in your safety precautions. So in that context, it's kind of hard to imagine anyone doing this. It's so much easier to exterminate potential alien civilizations by simply colonizing their planets in the first place. Anybody who has the willpower and skill to maintain a galaxy-wide, billion-year-long extermination process is going to be very, very good at it. They won't make rookie mistakes, and they might be monstrous villains, but this isn't Hollywood, so the villains are not going to be done. If I can think of a dozen ways to kill off all life in a galaxy, they can too, and probably more. And if you ask me which method to use, I'd say all of them. If you don't nuke someone's planet, you know of the asset, virus bomb it, then nuke the place. And when you're sure you've got everyone, you still send hazmat teams down to look. Then you disassemble the planet as raw materials to build more armadas. So we can conclude nobody is out there planning on killing us that we need to hide from. Either they don't exist, or they don't want to kill us, or they just plain suck at genocide. It seems to me most species would draw these same conclusions. How many millions of years are you going to hide before you finally say nuts and abandon the effort? Especially since the first ones to do so have the advantage in settling the galaxy, building their numbers up, and being safe from any previously quiet civilizations that may have more recently become a threat. After all, a species that hid for fear of being exterminated might not be such nice guys themselves. They might be so afraid of being killed off because they think it's the logical thing to do, and would like to do it themselves to others. That is worth considering too, since the ethically proper thing to do, if hiding, would seem to be to launch a few probes to get safely far from your civilization, and then transmit warnings to others to hide. So it is not a good Fermi paradox solution, because it seems very unlikely everyone would conclude hiding was best. Where do you hide an actual existing biological civilization? Again, not on your home planet. We assume malevolent and genocidal civilizations are very committed and good at their job, so odds are reducing your homeworld to atomic dust is going to be on their task list. And they've probably had whole blue ribbon committees and think tanks devoted to designing ways to track down and exterminate any survivors. If you have got force fields like we discussed last week, sticking your archive inside a star is a decent approach, or even your whole civilization, since you do not need to worry about your energy output being detectable. Even pretty advanced and determined civilizations have to work hard for a long time to kill a sun. It's also kind of hard to hunt around for a needle in that haystack. Ducking down inside a very large black hole might be a good option too, though getting out of either of those is a dubious proposition at best. But the more realistic approach is not anywhere inside your solar system, or even any solar system. In between the stars is a vast amount of empty space, only it isn't empty. There's all sorts of cold small objects out there, very hard to see even if you know what to look for, and incredibly numerous. They're hard to see because they are small and cold, and the reason why spaceships are easy to see is all the energy they give off while speeding up or slowing down. They can also be seen by the heat they give off just maintaining their environment inside. That's a lot harder and shorter range though. Now nothing can be completely hidden, but the less energy it gives off, the harder it is to see. You could detect a colony hidden in a comet because the comet will be warmer than it should be, but there is a range of uncertainty about how much it should give off. Some kilometer-wide ball of rock and ice in the interstellar void is soaking up some starlight, cosmic microwave background radiation, and other types of cosmic background radiation. There's more than microwaves, incidentally, and it probably has some radioisotopes in its composition, slowly decaying and giving off heat. There is some variation in all of that, which makes it difficult to calculate how much some blob of interstellar flotsam should be giving off naturally. That allows you a decent amount of power you can produce while still staying safely within those margins of error for detection. But as strange as it sounds, searching a whole galaxy for life-bearing planets is a lot easier than searching even a fairly small volume of interstellar space for a small habitat hidden inside a comet. It's the difference between searching a planet for cities and searching one beach for a single specific grain of sand that looks like all the others. The more power you need to run your hidden civilization, the fewer places you can hide it, and the easier those would be to find. Trying to hide a whole O'Neill cylinder housing thousands of people and needing gigawatts of power is a problem. Interstellar rocks might give off less than a milliwatt of energy per square meter, you need some rock with at least 1 trillion square meters of surface area just to have a chance of hiding an O'Neill cylinder's emissions in one. Can't hide a Dyson sphere with one, too much gravity, but you could partially hide its emissions by having a second layer around your original Dyson sphere that was highly reflective to its waste heat frequencies and reflected all that into a black hole. This is very dubious from a thermodynamics perspective, but thermodynamics where black holes are concerned is somewhat iffy, so we can't close the door on the option completely. Still, it is not a particularly realistic option, because on top of leakage or gravity being detectable, building such things is not covert. And if everyone sees you building your secret bunker, it's not too secret even if it is invisible when complete. But we do talk about using artificial black holes for power here a lot, so we'll use that as our last example for today. Note that we are talking about artificial black holes too. Naturally occurring ones are not very common. Odds are your civilization has none within many hundreds of light years, and there could be 1 million solar systems closer to hand. They also tend to have accretion disks, so suddenly blocking those by building your civilization there is going to be a red flag, though like hiding in a sun, hiding in an accretion disk might not be a bad idea if you can survive there. Anyway, focusing on artificial black holes. If you have the technology to make small black holes, Kugelblitz black holes, then we can grab some very remote and decently large body, scoop out its insides, line it with a reflective material, and slap in an equal mass black hole. Incidentally, trying to feed a black hole waste heat infrared light is harder than it sounds. The idea of a Kugelblitz black hole is that you use ultra-tiny and dense gamma rays to make one, but funneling infrared light and microwaves, the waste heat of a hidden civilization, into our black hole would actually be rather difficult and maybe impossible. Sounds strange, since black holes are all-consuming gravity wells, which even light can't escape, but micro-black holes are smaller than an atomic nuclei. Light can't get out of them, but getting it in there in the first place is a lot harder. Again, probably impossible, and there's no way you're getting all the light in there. We'll hand-wave that away though, and assume you could dispose of most of your waste heat into them. Amusingly, this option is better for organic civilizations than digital ones. They don't need much power or space, and can hide in a rock the size of a house, running on less power than a flashlight. However, the black holes that emit flashlight levels of energy tend to mass trillions of tons, modest asteroid territory, and in that range where if you're hiding it in a small body, you might get noticed just by the gravity given off. Alternatively, a rotating habitat designed for just a few thousand people and a modest ecosystem only needs to be 1 kilometer or so wide and needs power supplies in the hundreds of megawatts, or gigaton black hole territory, and a kilometer-wide block of ice masses about 1 gigaton. So it works out nicely, and if you're smart, you set the icy body to have a plausible but high speed in a direction that takes it far away, preferably out of the galaxy, though clever hunters might find that suspicious enough to check. Intergalactic space is a way better place to hide, and even the most determined hunters might shrug at trying to hunt through that, or chase you if you left the galaxy. I tend to be pretty skeptical about using black holes for heat disposal. It's very dicey where the laws of thermodynamics are concerned, and I suspect it only seems to work in theory because we don't fully know how black holes work. But I wanted to raise the option since folks do suggest using them this way. You can't hide a normal black hole either. Again, the mass issue. But gravity is a very weak force, so a micro black hole's gravity probably would escape notice. Fundamentally, if you can dump waste heat into one, it is a very good way to hide a civilization, and about the only way you can hope to hide a biological one, rather than a low-power digital one, inside known physics. And that's where we'll stop for today. What's our summary for hidden aliens? Short form, I don't expect to encounter them often, and I don't mean because they're hard to find since they're hiding. It's just not a good approach. We have to come up with way too many convoluted motives for both the civilization hiding and who they are hiding from. who also seem to need to bypass a lot of the strategies they should follow for hunting, like just colonizing everything themselves. On the other hand, I would expect civilizations to hide things, and the methods we discussed today work for hiding observational outposts or secret archives and backups.